Hey, come here, I gotta talk to you real quick. You think you're a good person, right? I mean, of course, look at you. With your reasonably priced haircut and your college letters in your Instagram bio. I mean, you're a good person, and good people don't commit crimes, right?
Wrong!
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I didn't mean to come in that strong.
In reality, you're a criminal. You're a common scoundrel who knows nothing but disorder and chaos. You're no better than these guys, or this guy, or this person. I don't have any proof that they do crimes, but I am so confident they are a monster. It is so easy to commit crimes in today's day and age. So today, my purpose is to show you exactly how much of a criminal you actually are. I'm also gonna talk about all the weird facts about crime that I found while making this video, because that's how I make videos. And to prove to you how easy it is, I'm going to break the law several times throughout this video, and it's up to you to find all the examples. I'm giving you a preschool project throughout this, so just pay attention. So let's start off by talking about crimes that we consider to not really be crimes, but they actually are crimes that we all commit all the time. First example, jaywalking. I am a city slickin' white boy who has not a New York minute to spare, so I cross the street when I deem it safe to. I'm not gonna wait for a goddamn machine to tell me what to do. But crossing a busy street without government mandate is actually a crime, which is obnoxious, but it's a real thing. And usually you won't get in trouble unless you're an asshole about it, like you're jogging across a 5-lane highway. But sometimes you get an asshole cop that was bullied in high school, and now that's your problem because they're gonna charge you for jaywalking. And the maximum penalty for jaywalking is $250 in America, which is great because it's one of those crimes that only affects poor people. This pig has nothing to do with what I'm saying. I'm not calling cops pigs. His name's Napoleon. He's chill. He's just hanging out. Don't worry about him. Next up, how about just using someone's Wi-Fi casually without them really knowing? We've all hopped onto a business's Wi-Fi without actually being in the business, like Starbucks or like a local library. Or you hop on a stranger's hotspot on like a train or an airplane because God forbid you're not connected to the internet for more than 5 seconds. Well, actually, this counts as a theft of services, which is a Class A misdemeanor, which is a lot of big words. But I can tell you that a punishment for such a crime is a fine up to several $1,000s or 1 year of jail time. You can spend a year in jail because you accidentally hopped onto someone's Wi-Fi. My phone just joins Wi-Fi networks. It just does that. I don't know how to make it stop. Imagine going to jail for a year because you could not scroll Twitter on an airplane. That's embarrassing. Speaking of which, how about illegally streaming TV shows or movies online? I'm not gonna do the you wouldn't download a car bit because that's pretty overdone by this point. But I'm sure most of us pay for like one subscription service like Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever. And I'm also super sure that none of my followers steal content online. I'm sure none of them do that. 123 Movies, Putlocker, Mega Cloud, you don't even know what I'm saying because you're good people. Only good people follow me, and if you do crimes and you follow me, we're gonna put you in jail. We're gonna shun you. I said doo-doo a couple seconds ago. But in reality, 53% of millennials admit to illegally streaming videos, which is the majority. But if you are one of these people, I would suggest pulling back a little bit on that because Congress passed some crazy shit in 2020. There's now a maximum fine of $150,000, and a maximum sentence of 10 years, all because you wanted to watch, what, season 2 of Fleabag for free, which is worth 30 years. It's so good, oh my God. Or how about underage drinking? Something that I should have talked about in one of my videos, but I didn't. Now, I don't know what the laws are in not America, because apparently in Europe, you're allowed to have a glass of wine with dinner when you're a fetus. But in America, you gotta wait till you're 21. And most of us don't. Whether it be having a few beers at a high school party or getting so blackout drunk your first week of college that your new dorm mate hates you for the rest of the year. Well, the punishment for this crime is actually not that bad. It's a fine up to $500 or 50 hours of community service if you're a real jerk about it. But the issue is where the kids are getting the alcohol, because if you're buying alcohol for underage kids, big deal, big deal. You can get a fine of $4,000 or go to jail up to a year because you gave your little brother and his friends line and Googles. Thank you, Dex. I really appreciate that. I didn't ask for line and Googles and I didn't like it, but you gave me beer, so I don't care. And finally, one of the most common crimes that I see people commit daily is lying at the self-checkout. You go to scan something and it didn't make a boop, but you're like, it's not my goddamn job to rescan this. I'm kind of upset that I'm even doing this myself to begin with, so you just throw it in the bag and you walk away because you're American. Well, it turns out that these big superstores like Walmart and Target aren't gonna nab you for like 1 or 2 stolen things. They actually track you using cameras and they charge up everything you've stolen over time until it gets to $2,000. In which case it becomes a felony and then they can really charge you super hard. So, you know, if you think you're getting away with stealing a bunch of shit, you're not. They're getting a huge rap sheet for you. But I guess that also means that like if you have an allowance, you can steal a couple things. So this might backfire on Target. Sorry guys, I'm on a time crunch right now, so I gotta eat while I film this. Oh, well, oh my God, I don't know what that's supposed to be salmon. So I'm gonna put that over there. That is suspicious. All right, now we can talk about the world's dumbest criminals. Because I did some research and I was just trying to find out crime facts. There are some of the dumbest mofos. Because of TV and movies, a lot of people assume criminals are like masterminds that like steal diamonds and shit. Most criminals are criminals because they can't get a real job because they're morons. If you're ever in a situation where you're talking to a criminal like a bank robbery, just assume their IQ is room temperature because they are mostly dumbasses. A great first example is the duct tape bandit. In 2010 in Ohio, which is exactly where I assumed this would happen, a man tried to rob a convenience store, but he didn't have a mask to hide his identity. And he obviously was strapped for cash, so he couldn't go to like a costume store and get a cool one. He just had to improvise. And he did that by wrapping his head with a bunch of duct tape. So it didn't work that well. And then the convenience store guy was able to just fend him off with a baseball bat, and then he ran away, and then they just put his face on the news and made fun of him for a couple weeks. So that's what he deserved. Up next, we have the bumbling burglar, which sounds like a children's TV show villain. So apparently in 2015, there was a guy in the UK who wanted to break into a building. And clearly this man watched a lot of Looney Tunes before he set out on his heist. He went on the roof of the building with a handsaw and carved out a giant hole to go through the building with. Like he's the coyote. But he made the mistake of standing in the middle of the hole, which is what the cartoons do, and then he fell through into the building and got really hurt, and he had to call the cops to come help him. He had to get oh my god, he's so stupid. Up next is my favorite. It's the lemon juice bandits, which sounds like a ragtag team of rapscallion children who go around and pickpocket, but no, it's two grown adults who are dumbasses. In 1995, two men, MacArthur Wheeler and Clifton Earl Johnson, robbed a bank in Pittsburgh, and they did it without masks. They did it just like clear out open day. Now you'd think they did this because they were just confident, or they were stupid, or they had some kind of bigger plan in motion. But the answer is all three of these things to an extent that you could not believe. One of them convinced the other one that if they covered their faces in lemon juice, the cameras would not see them. Morons. Wheeler was arrested because obviously, and then they brought him in for questioning, and he went on record by saying, "But I wore the juice." Oh my god. This is one of the cases that actually led to the discovery of the Dunning-Kruger effect, which, if you don't know, is when someone is so stupid that they think they're really smart. And that obviously is what was happening here. And then finally we have the pizza craving criminal. This is just a guy in 2020 who broke into a pizza shop and didn't steal any money. He just made himself a pizza. Like from scratch though. Like he spread out the dough, got the sauce going, cheese, toppings, and then he baked it at the perfect temperature for the perfect amount of time, then ate the whole pizza. And then he left. He didn't hide his face and he got caught and whatever. But I'm just curious, like, was this an inside job? Did he work at a competing pizza place? Who knows how to make a pizza like that? So now I wanted to talk about all the weird ass laws that you can break and go to jail for to this day. A lot of these are outdated laws that no one thought to change, and I feel like if you do them now, no one's really gonna give a shit, but technically, you could go to jail for doing these things. For example, in Denmark, you're required to check under your tires for children before you start and drive your car, which I guess makes sense. That seems like a burden though. I mean, it happens all the time in America. A kid's playing with his truck under a truck and then he goes splat, which is, you know, a tragedy. But I think that it's up to the parents and the dipshit kid to not get killed by chilling under car tires. I don't feel like I have to check my tires every time. It's kind of bullshit. In Switzerland, it's illegal to flush your toilets after 10 p.m. if you live in an apartment complex because it's too loud and noisy and it's causing a disturbance to others, which I understand. But if you have to take a monster dump at 10:05, do you let that shit permeate for the whole night? That seems kind of gross. Or if you like puke because you were drinking all night, you just gotta let that shit sit. You gotta let that shit marinate. I don't know. I'm gonna flush the toilet. I don't care. If you call the cops on me, I'm gonna beat you up. In Canada, it's illegal to pay for something with too many coins, which I think is hilarious. It's a common thing in America where if you have to pay like a fine for some bullshit, you just show up with like a box of pennies and make them count it because it's not illegal. It's actually illegal in America for them not to take the money because it's legal tender. So I'm just assuming that happened enough times in Canada where they were like, all right, this is horseshit. We gotta change up the laws because people are being dicks about this. In one specific place on Earth, if an elephant is left tied to a parking meter, the parking fee has to be paid as it would be for a vehicle. So let's all take a second and guess where this would be on Earth. Did you say Florida? Because you'd be correct, it was Florida. But now let's talk about some weird crimes that are so small that you could do throughout a video without people noticing. I'm so excited. I want to know if you guys actually saw me do these things. Number one, in France, it is illegal to call a pig Napoleon. Did you get that? I thought it was a little out of place, but whatever. In the UK, it's illegal to handle salmon suspiciously, which I was suspicious of. Did you get that? In Hawaii, it's illegal to hide coins in your ears, which is, it's a sad story because the American government went around destroying their currency and they had to hide coins in their ears. And now it means you're a drug dealer if you hide coins in your ears. But I don't know if you picked that up. I don't know if the camera even saw it. It was tiny, it was a dime. I have small ears. And finally, it is illegal in Alabama to have an ice cream cone in your back pocket, which I did a little earlier. I think that one was a little too obvious, but it's because if people would do that and then steal horses because the horse would lick it and it would follow him and he's like, I'm not doing anything, it's just eating my ice cream. So yeah, those are all the crimes I committed throughout the video. We're all criminals. We're all criminals. We're all gonna go to jail. We live in a police state where everyone's a criminal and everything's illegal, so they can nab you for anything. I don't want to get political. New videos every Friday, except for whenever I am too stupid to make a video because I drop my PC and destroy the hard drive, and then it comes out on a Saturday. New hat. Go Woo Sox. Bless your hearts. Have a good one.